10 series. We went 6 across this time, and we reinforced the brackets that came with the other running boards, tapered on the leading edge. Pretty jazzy. These are no wider. They're less wide than the mirror. Let me pull that out and show you. You can see how far out that mirror sticks in relation to those running boards. We make sure that there's no issue. You have to be careful, of course, like anything else. But these are about as high as you can go. These are tucked right up under the van, and they are rock solid. There's no flex in these at all. And when you're getting in and out, it's a joy. It's a nice wide step. You have no concerns stepping in and out. And when you're stepping out, look at this. Look at that long step you have. You don't have to sidestep it. You go right out, nice and wide. That's the problem with just about every running board I've ever seen, is they're too narrow. They're too narrow. The only company that makes them wider than mine is Advanced RV, and they're molded fiberglass. I love them. Nice and wide. Look at that. No problem. You don't have to sidestep. We reinforce our own brackets. Rock solid. There's just no flex at all. When this van came back, I was shocked to see that some of the wall panels that were wrapped in vinyl did not hold. The adhesive did not hold. I used 3M90, which is the green can, and a lot of these panels the adhesive didn't stick. So I'm replacing all those panels. I'm rewrapping them. There was a beautiful job that Alex did back here with the rear valance. The whole thing fell apart. So I have it in the shop. I'm redoing it. This big panel, I just redid it. It's right here, brand new and fresh with the real headliner adhesive that we use now. So this was a workmanship thing. I was not going to let this go either. This is it's a Humble Road van, and we take care of our vans. That's on me. That's a workmanship warranty issue. I wouldn't let that go. Even under here, I wrapped the underside of these cabinets. So we took all that out. We replaced it with some beautiful maple. That looks a lot nicer. So while these panels are out, I'm going to be installing the spreader lights, black oak spreader lights for security. Yes, speaking of additional security, oh, this too. See these panels on the door being redone. The adhesive didn't hold. 3M90, green can, no good. You got to use a headliner or a automotive adhesive, which is what we do now. Security. This customer wanted additional security while she's living on the road alone. She wanted to isolate the cockpit from the living area. So we developed a bulkhead door system out of 80/20. 80/20 and ABS, 1/4-inch ABS plastic. Not going anywhere. It's got a little bit of a stylish design to it. We didn't want it to look like a jail cell, right? It's nice and bright with the white ABS as opposed to black. And it was a very simple, elegant design. It came together after just a little bit of thought. John and I brainstormed this thing, and boom, here it is in place. It went together very easily. I can attribute some of that to our keen design sense, but also the fact that we really know our 80/20. We know how this stuff works and what we can do with it. So you pull out the first door, which is on tracks. We're using the channels in the 80/20, and we glued ABS splines into the channels of the door, and they're up. There's no way you're going to kick this out. There's no way. Anyway, this door comes across, and then there's a couple of nubbins that pick up the second door and bring that out. And we've got a stop track. So now this door cannot go any further open. It comes right up to the armoire, so that blocks any passage. You can't get your hand through here. Same thing over here. We've got a walnut spacer here to accommodate the curve of the van. We have access to the pizza oven. as well. Where we had to locate this in terms of where the pizza oven and everything else is in the van, it brought this whole frame system further into the living area than what the original step would allow for. So in other words, there was a gap between the original step and our new track. It would have been a terrible tripping hazard. So we took that step out and we built a new walnut step using Alex's old step as a template. All we had to do was make it wider. And then we put that in, tied that into the 80/20 rail at the bottom. So now this whole thing is just part of the van. It's almost like a roll cage, as well as a security door. But beautiful job, beautiful job. We've got to put our handles on it, and we got to put some locks on it. We're going to pin it here and here, and we're going to have some locks on this side as well that are accessed from in the living area. Very happy with this. And when it's away, it does not encroach on the hallway. The arm is deeper into this hallway passage than the door is. The other thing, we popped out this armoire cabinet up top. I said, John, you know what? I remember the way Alex built this armoire cabinet, 4 screws, and we can pull this out. It's separate from the bank of drawers that are underneath. So we're pulling this armoire cabinet out. That's going to allow me to get another spreader light in the side of the van up here. So I'll have 2 spreader lights on the driver's side, and I'll have 1 spreader light centralized on the passenger side with different switches. So wherever she may be in the van, she can hit a side and see what's going on out there. I had to put a new wind deflector on. This was not part of the job. I quoted it. They said no, but I had to do it anyway. If you remember that plywood wind deflector that Dave put up there, I could not let this Humble Road van go out with that. He did say it was temporary. It was a proof of concept, but it was up there when this van came back. So I guess we all have a different definition of temporary, but we did a custom ProMaster wind deflector. It looks a lot better. Throughout the build process, I record videos and still images for several reasons. First and foremost, it satisfies my voracious need to create imagery. And to express myself in an informative and sometimes humorous manner. Isn't that cool? This is what all the cool kids are doing. They just and them over here. It's fun, right? Now I'm back over here. Another reason for all this imagery, a useful reason, is to serve as a builder's reference to where things are, how and why they got there. Have you ever wondered what lurks behind the walls of your RV? Every wire gets labeled at both ends, here and on the other end, and even along its travel from point A to point B, there are labels. Nowhere, no time in this van are you going to be saying, I wonder where that wire goes to. There's no wonder. There's no wondering. Ever try to trace a wire, find a fuse, or simply worry that you might put a screw right through a water pipe? Reference images. Lots of reference images. I get very excited to send out progress photos to the client. This is a dresser that had to play nice with a few other components under the bed. After some deep thought and engineering, the pieces fit together like a puzzle. The wall cabinet was another such collaboration. After demonstrating the constraints of hinge doors, we set about installing a beautiful set of sliding doors. I'm of the opinion sliders work best in a van build. What do you think? And then there was that time I went to look at a new, larger shop to rent. While I can see the positive aspects of almost anything, this place was not large enough to be worthy of a move.